When you're afraid of feeling your emotions, especially negative emotions, you're often going to miss out on opportunities that might move you forward toward your biggest goal. And when you avoid anything that has the risk of failure, it will hold you back from improving and becoming the best version of you. So I want to ask you today, do you find yourself questioning your own ability or thinking that you have to figure everything out ahead of time? Do you think you have to do it all perfectly? Do you spend a lot of time in your head processing every outcome and every step ahead of time before you even dip your toe in the water, before you even try something new? Do you have a really big goal, or have you been wanting to do something, but you feel like you're not quite confident enough to move toward it just yet? Okay, now be honest. You probably don't spend a lot of time thinking highly of yourself. Most of us aren't conceited or anything, but I'm not even talking about that. It's likely that you spend a lot of time actually, if you pay attention to the voices in your head, that you spend a lot of time talking down to yourself. And this is normal because our brains are programmed to see what's wrong. Our brains want to protect us. So that's what it's always looking for. Your brain is going to spend all day searching for everything it can find that's wrong with the world, and it's going to find all the negative thoughts and create all the negative emotion just so that you will decide to go somewhere safe and hide. That's its whole purpose, to keep you safe. But this is the opposite of self-confidence. And I'm going to tell you how to turn it around in this episode. Hi, I'm Tammy. The purpose of the Tammy North Show is to give high achievers actionable content to propel themselves to senior leadership while living a balanced life. Women leading in corporations and large organizations who want to lead with authenticity at the senior executive level have found their community. From around the time I turned 40 years old, the most beautiful thing happened. It's something I've been saying that I wish I could bottle and hand out to all the 20-something ladies in my life. What was it? Well, my self-confidence shot through the roof. I don't think it's only because I'm older, but I do think that might be one part of it. You know, the older you get, you begin to realize that people don't really care what you're up to as much as you think they do. And I know now that that is mainly because everybody's so worried about themselves that they don't really have much time left to wonder what you're doing. So yeah, what other people think is only a part of it. But self-confidence means just simply to be secure in your own self and your abilities. And the master life coach who certified me, Brooke Castillo, defines it as your ability to trust yourself. It's knowing that you can experience any emotion, including failure, without being harmed. And it's your overall opinion of yourself. I really love her definition because it's a lot clearer when you consider that when you lack self-confidence, it's only something that you think and feel that causes you not to want to try something new, to keep you from applying for a new job, to keep something in your life out of reach, that keeps you safe and quiet in your own world. In your own world, you already know everything. You already know that you can be safe, you can be warm, and you can be comfortable. There's nothing that's going to hurt you here. But when you're self-confident and you are truly willing to feel any emotion, then you'll also be willing to take bolder action because you won't be afraid of being embarrassed or failing or what somebody else is going to say or what somebody's going to think or, any of the other discomfort that comes along with it. Yeah, all those things are going to cause you to feel different things. You might even be humiliated or embarrassed sometimes, but that's the worst thing that's going to happen. One of my best friends in my 20s and 30s was a man named Don, and he was a supremely confident person. I don't think I ever met anybody more confident than he was. He had the kind of confidence that it was to the point of being absolutely uncomfortable at times to just even be in the same space with him. He was in the Navy with me, and we were the same rank. But the thing was, he was so bold and he did things I would never do in a million years. And I was often just saying, no, stop, don't do that. Okay, we don't have to go there. We don't have to. Why are you saying this? And he would always be like, what are you worried about? What are they going to do? And he would just keep on going. He would walk into restaurants. He would just start chatting with the waitresses about life and food and the area, what her hobbies were, whatever. And then what was the end result? The waitress would love us, spend all kinds of time talking to us. We would end up with the best dinner. At work, he got to go places and do things that nobody else got to do because he wasn't afraid to talk to anybody. So everybody liked him. He was a black belt in multiple martial arts. And so when he was traveling, he'd literally just walk into a dojo and ask if he could train with them. So what ended up happening? He made new friends all over the world, people that weren't even in the military. He would train with different people, have different experiences with different black belts, all of that, which only made him better. And then after a while, I realized that the more his confidence worked for him, the more confident he became. He literally wasn't afraid of anything. One time I asked him about it very specifically, mainly because it was such a contrast to my personality in my 20s. I was so shy and so busy being safe and quiet. And he said, "What are they going to do to me?" And his main meaning was that he'd grown so confident in his ability to take care of himself, either with charismatic conversation or if it came to it, I also believe he had complete confidence in his ability to manage a physical altercation if it came to it, that he literally was never worried about anything ever. And it came across in his every interaction. I mean, he was also a really nice guy. He wasn't arrogant at all. He would give his friends the shirt off of his back, but he also believed in himself 100%. And I think from virtue of being friends with him for so long and all the crazy adventures we'd go on and the experiences I had because I was going with him to do some of these things, that does have something to do with how I got to be so confident. Mainly, he would force me to be out of my comfort zone. He would force me to enter competitions. We were doing experiences I would have never done in a million years at that time if I hadn't had somebody pushing me. So that's one reason to get really great friends who will get you out of your comfort zone. We all need those kind. I even found success in some of those things and things I would have never dreamed in a million years I could be good at. Trust me, I wasn't good at the beginning, but over time I learned and I tried and I became actually pretty good at some surprising things. And then because of that, I started to believe I could become good at almost anything if I were to put my energy onto it. Eventually, what ended up happening probably in my late 30s or even, probably around the time I was 40, I literally did start thinking, what are they going to do to me? Just like Don used to say to me back when we were in our 20s. I mean, we could say maybe this is a work situation. For example, I would decide to just jump in and take something on when nobody else was doing anything about it. And I would just start calling people and getting people to work together. And then I would hear people say to me, that's not your job. Why are you doing that? And trust me, I felt uncomfortable when those things happened, but I also felt like I was definitely doing the right thing and I was willing to go ahead and just keep feeling uncomfortable and people could just keep talking about me because I knew that what I was doing was right. And the funny thing is, the people talking about me weren't the senior people. It was just my peers, the people who were trying to stay comfortable, the people who were trying to take it easy, the people who were trying to quietly get by. I just chose to feel uncomfortable. I chose to let people talk about me. I chose to be the one that was frustrating others because they didn't understand why I was taking these steps that would make them uncomfortable. And trust me, they did make me uncomfortable too. I just did them anyway. And considering where I am now in my career, I feel like I was validated that I did the right thing. And that only makes me more confident. Does that make sense? So it's a spiral and it just builds upon itself over and over and over. And these days I do all kinds of things that are out of my comfort zone, but it sort of feels good. When I notice that I'm out of my comfort zone, and trust me, your body does all sorts of things inside. You feel all kinds of vibration and discomfort and desire to pull back. But when that happens, to me, I'm almost addicted to the feeling now of pushing through it because it feels so good when you get on the other side. And that's what I want you to do, is start embracing the feeling of discomfort and in fact, finding ways to get yourself there on purpose and then pushing through anyway. I would love to hear from you like 30 days or 60 days from now and for you to tell me how uncomfortable you got and how when you got to the other side, how good it felt. Because trust me, it's worth it. So now when I'm talking to you, for instance, when I talk to one of my clients or when you reply to my newsletter and you share your thoughts with what your biggest challenges are, no matter what else we talk about, inevitably you tell me that you want to increase your self-confidence and that's at the top of your list for things you want to do to improve. So today I'm going to share some thoughts about how you can manage your own mind and feel things, even negative and uncomfortable things. And at the end of this episode, I'm going to give you some direct actions that you can do to start building your self-confidence this week. Okay, so the key to feeling more self-confident is learning to trust yourself. Do you believe that no matter what happens to you that you can figure it out, even if you've never done it before? Do you believe that you can set a giant goal and that if you work hard enough at it, that you will 100% certainly achieve it? If this is you, then you're probably more self-confident than you believe. But if you don't manage your own mind and you let it run amok, so that you feel out of control with your feelings and your actions, where your mind is telling you all the reasons you're going to fail and why it's going to hurt and how you're going to be embarrassed or seen in some negative way by other people, then this is going to spiral into the result of less self-confidence. And this is all okay. It just means you're human. But still, as a result of the spiral into less action, into pulling back into safe places, your result is going to be that you're going to end up letting yourself down. And if you do this consistently enough, then you're going to undermine your ability to trust yourself and your ability to increase your self-confidence in the future. So as I said earlier, when you're afraid of feeling your emotions, especially the negative emotion, you will hide and avoid them. And the result of this is that you'll be too scared to do anything that has a risk of failure. And when you're afraid of failure, you will always question your ability because you have to do it perfectly or you're going to feel that negative emotion again. Very often, your opinion of yourself, and even me, and all humans, is very low, surprisingly low. And I know you probably don't spend a lot of time thinking very highly of yourself, but our brains are programmed to see what's wrong. So that's what it's looking for. It finds negative thoughts to create negative emotions, and that's the opposite of self-confidence. So increasing your self-confidence comes from changing your thoughts about yourself. And you can increase your confidence by considering the possibility of what you can create in the future. Think about it, how amazing your future is going to be. And the more certain you are of the possibility that your future can be amazing, the more confidence you're going to have moving toward it. Okay, so what is self-confidence? I'm just going to say a few characteristics of self-confidence, and I want you to just take a few minutes and really soak it in. Self-confidence is the willingness to take risks and get out of your comfort zone. Self-confidence is standing up for yourself. Self-confidence is sexy. Self-confidence is assertiveness, deciding what you want and going after it in an authentically direct way. Self-confidence is saying no when that's really what you want to say. Self-confidence is believing that you can and will learn new things. And self-confidence is a growth mindset. Okay, so what self-confidence is not? It is not arrogance. In fact, arrogance is born from a lack of self-confidence. If people spend all of their energy pointing out how much better they are than other people, then they're likely very insecure. A truly self-confident person doesn't need to point out that they're better. They simply believe that they're capable, and they also believe that everybody else is capable as well. Everybody else has their own special powers. There's no need for any of us to compete. Self-confidence is not the fear of failure or disappointment. In fact, quite the opposite. Self-confidence is feeling the fear, even knowing you might fail, realizing that you could be disappointed or somebody else might be disappointed in your actions. But if you want to do it, you go ahead and do it anyway. And self-confidence is not shrinking from new opportunities. Self-confidence is going full force into the new opportunity and being willing to feel whatever discomfort is going to come next. So why is it important that you increase your self-confidence? Why should you even try? And what I want to tell you is that the more genuinely self-confident you are, the more other people will see it in you. And they will inherently believe in you as well. So the more you believe in yourself, the more others will believe in you. It's as if you're showing them and teaching them how to treat you. The way you treat yourself demonstrates to others how they should also treat you. The more self-confidence you are, the more people will see you as a leader. If you're interested in eventually being considered for senior roles at your organization, then this is key. And this is one reason that you should try to find ways to become more self-confident. When people see you as a leader, this will be true no matter your title, no matter where you are in the organization, and it will increase your ability to influence others to your way of thinking, which will help you to get more things done, which will increase the number of people who see you as a self-confident leader. It's that spiral again, and the more you do it, the more it happens. The more self-confident you are, you will also feel more happy more often. Self-confidence breeds positive energy. So the more you have, the more actions you'll take. The more actions you take, the more positive energy you'll have, and your self-confidence will go through the roof. Okay, so let's talk about some activities that I want you to do this week. I'm going to tell you 10. So take as many of them as you like, choose a few and work on them. Just make a plan that you're going to focus on them, write them on a sticky somewhere where you can remember if it's that kind of action. Some of them are about verbally in the moment taking action. So let's go. The first one is clean up your negative self-talk about yourself and clean up your thoughts. You need to be relentless about this. When you think negative thoughts, you're going to drive feelings of fear or unworthiness. And when you feel that way, you're going to take actions that keep you safe and small. And when you take the safe, small actions, you're going to find all kinds of evidence to prove that you can't do it, that you're too scared and unworthy. So clean up your thoughts. And in order to do that, the first step is to even notice the negative thoughts in the first place. And when you notice them, whenever possible, interrupt them with other thoughts that serve you, thoughts that fuel you into feeling more powerful and more capable. And then go out into the world and take the actions that serve you. And in this way, you're going to find more evidence that you can learn new things, that you are a capable human, and those actions will result in even more self-confidence. Okay, number 2, stand up tall. Hold yourself strongly upright with excellent posture. Open your chest and breathe life fully into your lungs. And do this often during the day. Find a way to remind yourself to do it. This activity alone will reduce the number of negative thoughts that you have, and it will have the added benefit that you'll start to feel strong and confident, and you'll start to look strong and confident to other people. Okay, number 3, dress as who you want to be. Be the best version of yourself. Do this both at work and home. You know how you feel when you dress well, when you're at your best for a given situation. Make this the constant version of who you are. Number 4, speak up. When you have something you're holding back in a meeting at work, especially if you're usually the quiet one, nope, this week it's going to change. Speak up. If you see somebody and you think they look beautiful, or if they did something that made you smile, or if they just did something particularly awesome, then tell them. How often do you think something positive and feel like it doesn't really matter if you told them, so you don't say anything at all? Nope, it all changes this week. Start handing compliments out. At least 1 to 2 compliments every day to somebody. Okay, number 5, smile. And I'm talking about genuine smiles. Go out into the world and appreciate your life and your contribution to the world. And also just generally appreciate the contribution of those around you. This activity is just all about appreciation and gratitude, and just smile. It will have the benefit of flooding you with positive thoughts and will also make you look as confident as you are starting to feel. Okay, number 6, talk about your future. Talk about who you're going to be. I say it all the time. You were meant to do big things. You have dreams, and it's time for you to dream big. Not only dream them, but talk about them. Let people know what you're doing. Let them know you have an amazing plan for your life and you intend on making it happen. When you have this energy in the world, people won't be able to ignore you. You will absolutely shine to them. And you're going to make them believe that if you've had this transformation, then maybe they can too. And you're going to become an example of what is possible. Number 7, surround yourself with positivity. Pay attention to what you read, what you watch on TV, podcasts, music you listen to, friends or coworkers, family in your life, and make it a point to spend the maximum time surrounded by positive influences. One thing I've been doing for a really long time in my life, and I just realized in the past few years that I was probably coaching myself technically, is I had different playlists for different moods. My music, I have it sorted by like motivation, enjoying life, appreciating life, love. I had some playlists for sad or mad. You know, when you just really want to feel mad, it's okay. Life is 50-50. You get to feel all the good and the bad. I have this one playlist that I've been curating for a really long time, and I listen to it almost every day. I call it a goals and driven playlist, and I listen to that on my way to work a lot, and it puts me in a mood that I literally believe I can do anything. It's perfect for me. So I would suggest that you create a playlist like that for yourself, one that you can almost just like, is like a switch that flips. You play this music and it puts you in a completely different mindset, the mindset that moves you and fuels you and pushes you ahead. This is an example of surrounding yourself with positivity. I do have a version of that playlist on Spotify called the Genuine Driven Women playlist. I'll link it in the show notes for you if you want to listen to it. But then you can copy that into your own Spotify and then curate one that's perfect for you. Okay, number 8, just generally make a point to feel awesome and to be awesome. Whatever awesome is to you, just do it. Number 9, make a list of 10 really big things that you've accomplished in your life that you didn't know how to do before you started them. I know you have some. If you can't think of any, email me and I'll give you some ideas. One time my husband was on a deployment with the Navy and I really wanted to redo my bathroom. And I didn't exactly know how. I wanted to do a complete remodel and I didn't really feel like paying as much as it was going to cost to have people do it for me. So I was like, I don't know, around the age of 40 something, me and my daughter, went into the bathroom when he left with sledgehammers, and we literally knocked the whole entire bathroom out down to the studs of the wall. And then we got it all, I took it all to the dump, whatever. And then I had a bathroom that was nothing but studs staring at me in the concrete slab. And I completely remodeled that entire bathroom by myself. And did I know what to do? No. I had done some minor remodeling projects. I mean, minor compared to that. Like I built a wine bar and some other things before. I love tools. I love that kind of thing. And I'd done a little bit of plumbing here and there. So I wasn't really, I had replaced a toilet, some other things before. So I kind of knew I could do it, but I wasn't 100% sure. And then there was a couple things that happened. For instance, the shower, I was building a walk-in shower that had been a bathtub, and I needed the drain to move over like 3 or 4 inches, and I didn't really know how to do that. And trust me, that took me 3 different weekends, and I sat there, cried over that drain, and watched YouTube videos try to figure out what I was going to do to get it to move. And I thought I was going to have to call somebody for help, and then I finally figured it out. And I didn't have to call for help. So things that I've done in my life like that make me believe I literally can figure anything out. And that bathroom, I remodeled it like, I don't know, that was like probably 4 or 5 years ago. It is awesome. It's like one of the best parts of my house right now. And every time I walk into it, it's like one of my little zen spaces in the house. And it also reminds me of what I did. And it just makes me feel like, you know what? I can do this. I can do anything. So I want you to think of those kind of things that you've accomplished that you didn't know how to do before you started. And then what did you do and how did it make you feel? Okay, and number 10, every single day this week, pick one thing that scares you and do it. Make a deliberate plan ahead of time and just do it. Some ideas might be go introduce yourself to a stranger in the coffee shop and strike up a conversation. Apply for that job you've been wanting to apply for. Ask your boss for a raise. Wear something a little dressier than you normally do. Maybe even a little bit sexier. Give a compliment to somebody you admire. Go ask somebody if they'll be your mentor. If there's somebody that you are really interested in learning more from, a role model, go ask them if they'll be your mentor. Remember, you will often miss out on opportunities that could have moved you forward if you stay too safe. When you avoid anything that has a risk of failure, it will hold you back from improving and becoming the best version of you. And if you're listening to this podcast right now, it's because you are a high achiever and you believe you are meant for something bigger. And I believe in you 100%. And now it's time for you to believe in yourself. Commit to doing some of these activities and finding ways to be uncomfortable as often as you can. And the more you do it, the better you'll feel. And you might even figure out that you're actually enjoying it. Okay, so I would love if you do some of these in the next week or two and let me know what you did to get out of your comfort zone and let me know how it worked. You can email me at Tammy, TAMI.north, NORTH, at genuinedrivenwomen.com. You can connect with us on Facebook at Genuine Driven Women, or to learn more about what we offer, check out genuinedrivenwomen.com.